Attention passionate Cleveland, BROWNS. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Cleveland Browns' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Cleveland Browns fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Cleveland, BROWNS. Let's get to the news now, folks. If you've been following the Cleveland Browns lately, you know that things have been a roller coaster, especially after that tough 41-17 loss to the Baltimore Ravens. It's not just another game. It's a wake-up call that's resonating deep within the organization, within the locker room, and especially among the fans who have high hopes for this team. But what's really grabbing everyone's attention right now isn't just the final score, but the words and the attitude of one of the Browns' most important players, Myles Garrett. And trust me, what Garrett said after that game has triggered a lot of conversations around the league, among fans, analysts, and insiders. You see, Garrett, who's been a cornerstone of Cleveland's defense for years, voiced his frustration loud and clear. And when I say loud, I mean it. After the game, he didn't hold back. He called the team's performance embarrassing, and he emphasized that the defense, the team as a whole, needs to be better. That's a pretty strong statement coming from someone who's been one of the brightest stars on this roster. But what's more shocking is what it hints at beyond just the game itself. Garrett's words are fueling speculation that he might be considering his future in Cleveland, or at least, that he's unhappy with the way things are going. What makes this situation even more intriguing is Garrett's recent history with the team. This offseason, he made headlines by publicly demanding a trade. That's not something you see every day from a player of his caliber, especially someone who's been as loyal and productive as Garrett. He was very open about his desire to compete for a Super Bowl, to be part of a team that's contending for championships, not just fighting for a playoff spot or rebuilding. During Super Bowl week last year, he said, "It's not a decision I take lightly. It took time and lots of conversation. Just looking at the trajectory of the team, talking to some of the higher-ups, I have a lot of respect for them, but I just don't think we're aligned on where the team is going in the near future." Despite these words, the Browns and Garrett managed to come to an agreement. They signed him to a 4-year extension worth a staggering $160 million, which briefly made him the highest-paid non-quarterback in NFL history. That move was seen as a sign that Cleveland valued Garrett immensely, that they wanted to keep their superstar edge rusher long-term and build around him. But here's the catch. Since that extension, the team's performance has been far from ideal. The Browns are sitting at 0-2 after back-to-back losses, and one of those losses was a blowout to the Ravens. That's the kind of start that can shake even the most confident locker room. And Garrett's response, well, it's not exactly what you'd call subtle. After the game, he said, "I mean, this is embarrassing. And we've got to be better on defense, we've got to be better as a team." That's a pretty candid critique, especially coming from someone so important on the defense. He also mentioned how the Ravens slowly chipped away, and that eventually, Cleveland's defense just broke. It's clear that Garrett's frustration isn't just about one game, it's about the bigger picture. It's about the team's inability to close out games, to play a full 60-minute game, and to live up to the expectations that come with having a player of Garrett's caliber on your roster. Now, here's where things get really interesting. Tony Grossi, a veteran Browns reporter, was asked whether Garrett could push for another trade, especially considering how the team currently looks more like a rebuilding squad than a playoff contender. And his answer? Well, he said it's more fact than fiction. Grossi pointed out that Garrett's flip-flopping, behavior and visible frustration are signs that he's not entirely content. The fact is, Garrett is playing some of his best football despite the team's struggles. Through the first 2 games, he's accumulated 3 sacks and 6 tackles for loss, which are standout numbers in the league. But that doesn't seem to be enough for him right now. You have to understand, Garrett's mindset is driven by his desire to reach the Super Bowl. He said before that he wants to be on that big stage, standing on the podium, soaking in the moment, surrounded by reporters and fans who believe in him. And being in Cleveland, with the team's current trajectory, might not be aligning with those ambitions. Grossi's point is that Garrett is playing his best football, but it's not translating into wins, and that's frustrating for a player who wants to be in the spotlight, not just for his individual stats but for team success. Adding another layer to this is Garrett's injury. During the loss to Baltimore, he suffered an Achilles injury, not a minor one. Garrett himself said he was rolled up on, and it was a bit of a high-low that clipped his Achilles. He's doing okay, he says, but the injury is definitely a concern. The Browns coaching staff, led by Kevin Stefanski, is keeping things vague, saying they're monitoring Garrett's recovery and that a lot of guys are dealing with some things. But for Cleveland, losing Garrett even temporarily could be a huge blow. Their defense is already under pressure, and Garrett's ability to rush the passer is vital for their success. Looking ahead, Cleveland has a big challenge this week. They're hosting the Green Bay Packers, who are 2-0 and looking sharp in their own right. It's a pivotal moment for the Browns to show how they respond after such a tough loss, and amid all this noise about Garrett's future. The team needs to rally, find a way to tighten up their defense, and start stacking wins. But more than that, they need to keep Garrett healthy and motivated. Because if he's not on the field, especially with this injury, their pass rush and overall defense could suffer even more. And what about the broader picture? Well, it's clear that Garrett's frustration isn't just about one game or one injury. It's a reflection of a team that's still trying to find its identity after some upheaval. The Browns have been a team with high expectations, especially with their talented roster, but the results haven't been there. They're looking for consistency, for leadership, for that spark that will turn their promising defense into a dominant force. Garrett, as their premier pass rusher, is both a symbol of that potential and, right now, a bit of a lightning rod for all the issues the team faces. In the end, Cleveland fans are right to be concerned, but also hopeful. This isn't the first time the Browns have faced adversity, and they've shown resilience before. But the key now is clarity. Will Garrett push for a trade if the team doesn't turn things around? Will he continue to play through injury and frustration? Or will his desire for a Super Bowl push him to seek greener pastures? These are questions that will be answered in the coming weeks. What's certain is that Garrett's words and actions are signaling a period of turbulence, but also an opportunity for the Browns to step up and prove themselves. So, Browns fans, keep your eyes peeled. This season is far from over, and even with the setbacks, there's still a lot of football left to play. The defense, led by Garrett, can be a game changer if they get it right. Team's leadership needs to harness that frustration and turn it into fuel for a comeback. Because at the end of the day, what we all want is to see Cleveland back in the postseason, competing at the highest level, and maybe, just maybe, making a run that will be remembered for years to come. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Cleveland Browns news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Cleveland Browns fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on Garrett's words and the team's current situation? Do you think he's serious about demanding a trade, or is this just frustration boiling over after a tough start? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Browns. Remember, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Cleveland Browns news. This season is shaping up to be one of the most interesting in recent memory, and we'll be right here to cover every twist and turn. Thanks for watching, Browns fans, and as always, let's keep supporting our team through thick and thin.